As an entrepreneur and somebody who, and I'll go over it and you could, correct me if I'm wrong or add, but I mean, vice president of the Dolphins, right?
Vice chair.
Vice chairman?
You got to give me due.
Okay, excuse me. Sorry about that.
Don't cheapen.
Okay. I didn't know they upped you.
No,
now.
they did.
They bumped you up.
Exactly. I mean, vice president when you work there.
They open up the books for you.
Exactly. They open the books. Tommy, he's gone. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. Right? The phone booth scene, right? Epic. For those who don't know what we're talking about.
I go, Goodfellas. Internets who listen to this know that how much I love Goodfellas.
I quote it regularly.
Yeah.
I get frustrated when millennials maybe don't always know what you're talking about.
Sure.
I think it should be required viewing.
It was so ahead of its time. But you look at it, like, it's crazy when you think about it's insane. Then you were, what was your position at the Jets, New York Jets?
Well, so the sequence was I go from Giuliani to the first employee of the rebuilding the Trade Center site.
Okay.
Remember, this is post 9/11.
Yep.
There's no template for how do you rebuild an entire part of an
never
American
happened.
city that's been destroyed. And so there's a huge allocation of federal money and not sure what to do with it. So I was actually the first. Other people vie for this title, so maybe I'll say it's a tie with my friend Stephen Pryor. But day one, ground
Sure.
zero, what do you do? And I was there for 2 years helping put together the process to eventually choose the memorial and the site. And I used to write speeches for the governor and help put all that together. I did that so I was at ground zero from the moment the planes hit for over 2 years. And then I transitioned to the Jets, which I needed a little bit of frivolity in my life. I mean, when you're around all that mayhem and all that adrenaline and all that sadness, like I just needed a break. And my mother had died kind of in the middle of all that. So I transitioned to sports to be.
But it's funny because I feel like how do you get a position at the Jets? Like I mean,
well, they were in the middle. I don't know if you remember, but it was called the Stadium Wars at the time. The Jets never had their own home, and so we were trying to build a stadium on the west side, and we ended up in an epic death match
I remember
with
that.
Cablevision, right? So I was on one side of it, and Cablevision was on the other side of it, and so it was just they needed somebody who could run that effort, who understood land use, PR, all the different things that go into building a project in the middle of a city.
Sure.
So that's how I started, and then I probably overstayed my welcome. Ended up getting promoted a few times till I was eventually running the business.
I know there's some point where they call like you an advisor, right? Now, for somebody who may not, for listener who may not know, like, what does an advisor do? Like,
It's such a terrible title, right?
I know, right?
Because it's great work if you can get it. I don't know if it, I think it's just a proxy for saying you were a close confidant, right?
Okay.
I mean, I think my principal job at the Jets was ultimately to oversee the business of the team. So there's the sporting side, right? There's the general manager who's pulling together the roster. There's the head coach. I worked with Rex Ryan at the time, who was awesome, by the way. Let's go get a goddamn snack. Do you remember that?
Sure.
From HBO.
Classic.
Of course. So, and then there was Eric Mangini I was working with.
Yeah.
So there's coach, GM, and then this business. So I oversaw the business, helping build a new stadium, selling out the stadium, tickets, sponsorship, suites. That was my job. And I did that cumulatively at the Jets for 8 years. So it was a huge part of my life, and helped build a new practice facility out in New Jersey, moved my family out. I was pissed off too that we didn't succeed in New York. So
Hey, Jersey's quiet. It's 5 minutes slower. It's
Jersey's good. Jersey gets a bad rap. It's not fair. It's I've become a fan of Jersey. You spend your whole life in Long Island making fun of New Jersey, having never visited it, and then you visit New Jersey. You're like, oh, we should be making fun of Long Island. Like we had it wrong.
Yeah.
For all the internets out there from Long Island are hearing
for sure. He goes in Long Island. Benson,
yeah,
a video.
But the thing is, that people in Long Island don't realize that we don't have traffic in Jersey anywhere near what you have in Long Island. Having somebody who drove through Queens for all those years, and you're always in traffic no matter what time of day, we don't have that in New Jersey. So score one for us.
You mentioned, I heard you mention Curtis Martin, former NFL running back.
Yes, I'm very close to Curtis Martin.
You spoke about how much you speak to him, how special he is.
Yep.
Could you tell the internet what Curtis means to you?
Yeah, I think people always ask, do you have a mentor? And I think I have. I look at my life as a series of people who passed the baton, and I was the baton that was passed from one person to another. And we all have that. If you look back at your life, you'll realize somebody was carrying you and then handed you off to somebody else. And but my closest thing to my mentor is more of a spiritual mentor. I call Curtis my personal Jesus. Just an incredibly insightful human being who has the answers to every test. So if ever I have a moral or ethical dilemma, or I need to figure out how to be my better self, I can turn to Curtis. And it's just a relationship I've had since he was back at the team. and just a very, very
What is he
special
doing
person.
now?
He's doing a ton of projects. He actually advises people a lot behind the scenes in ways you would never know. Like he's just, other people have figured out that Curtis has the answers to the test. He's got some businesses that he's working on. Just so special and gentle and insightful. I'd love to do a podcast with him one day, or I just want to expose him to the world.
Sure.
You know, and I think people don't realize. And sometimes athletes, you know, athletes get put in a box, especially former athletes, right? You presume, oh, they're not going to be great business people necessarily, or whatever, right? They don't. There's so many diamonds lurking out there that are typecast, and Curtis has the gift.
More than an athlete, you know, more than an athlete, you know.